Okay, in this podcast I'm going to show you how to collect data using Logger Pro and how to create your graph and get a fit for it. So these are all the pieces that you need to run this experiment. In this case we're measuring pressure versus volume of a gas. So this black box here is a pressure sensor. I need a syringe, a 25 milliliter syringe. I need one of these gray adapters, and I need this black GoLink. Step 3 says to adjust your syringe, the plunger of your syringe, to get 12 milliliters. So I'm holding the plunger down here, and what I want to do is get this top of the rubber piece to be right at the 12. Okay? And then once I've done that, I want to close the valve by turning this blue handle so it's perpendicular with the syringe. So the blue valve should go across. Then I want to attach this gray adapter to my pressure sensor, and then I want to attach the adapter to my GoLink. Now the GoLink connects into the computer and takes the data that's been collected by the pressure sensor and sends it into Logger Pro. The last step is to take that USB cable that's part of the GoLink and attach it to the computer. Okay, once we've done this, it doesn't matter whether we do this first or open Logger Pro first. So we open Logger Pro, and the instructions on step 1 tell us we want to find Boyle's Law Lab. So we're going to go to File, Open, Chemistry with Vernier, and then we want to experiment 06, Boyle's Law. Alright, when we do that, it knows that we have a pressure sensor, so I'm going to hit this connect button. And when I do that, I should see a pressure reading. Okay, so if I go down to step 5, it tells me I'm going to hit this green button, which means I'm ready to start collecting data. Now I already have my pressure sensor set to 12, so I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to hit the blue keep button, and I'm going to enter that I have 12.0, and it already knows my units are milliliters. Okay, it's going to record that point. Then I'm going to adjust the volume on my syringe, and I'm going to do this by decreasing the volume by pushing in on the syringe. So I'm at 12, and I'm going to go down to 10. And once I have the syringe steady at 10, you really need 2 people to do this. I'm trying to do it by myself, so my data might not be perfect. I'm going to hit keep, and I'm going to put in, I've got 10.0. Okay. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go down to 8 this time. I'm going to say keep. I'm going to say 8.0, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to go down this time to 6. I'm going to tell it to keep, and I've got 6.0. I say OK. Alright, once I'm down to 6, I don't want to go any further than that, because if I push too hard, create too much pressure, the sensor will break. And now I want to go the other way. I want to pull the plunger out to 14. I hit keep when I'm at 14. And 14, I come back out to 16. I hit keep. I've got 16. I do another at 18. I click keep. I'm at 18, and I'm going to do one more at 20. Click, and I'm at 20. Okay, so I have my data, and I can say stop. Alright, so now I need to figure out what kind of a relationship I have here. And if I look at this, I got to decide first of all, do I have a line here, or do I have some kind of a curve? And it looks like it's a curve. It's not a line. So I don't want to do a line fit. I want to do a curve fit. So I'm going to go to Analyze, Curve Fit. Okay. And the way curve fit works in Logger Pro is it's a trial and error method. So I'm going to start by picking some general equation just by clicking here and getting the blue button and then saying try the fit. Okay, so a to the x, a proportional equation does not work. It gives me a line that doesn't make any sense. mx plus b is actually the linear fit. That's not a good fit. So I'm just going to go down this list and keep looking for relationships or equations that work pretty well. Now that one's much better than the other, so I might want to write that down. It says to write 6 down. Quadratic, not bad. Let's try cubic. Try the fit. Also looks pretty good. Quadratic or quartic looks pretty good. Quintic looks pretty good, but it's got this tail here, and I don't really know if this tail exists on my graph. Okay. Try the power. Not bad. Variable. Certainly not. Inverse. Okay, doesn't look perfect, but looks not bad. Inverse squared. Doesn't look right. Okay. So once I have written down the 6 that I think look good, I'm going to go back to the inverse. As it turns out, pressure and volume is an inverse relationship for gases. Now, it doesn't look like a perfect fit because, as it turns out, I don't have perfect data. It looks like it might be an outlier, so I want to highlight that data point. That looks like it's at 8 for volume, or 12 for volume, my starting point. If I highlight 12, and then I go to edit, I can say strike through data cells. And if I do that, it keeps it in the data table, puts a line through it, but takes it out of the graph. Didn't make much difference. Now, this graph does not look like a perfect fit, but in fact, if I had enough data and I had enough high pressure, low volume data points, as well as enough high volume, low pressure, it would in fact be the best fit. Okay, so what I want to do now is look like I have a relationship that I want to use, and now I want to go ahead and clean up my graph. So I want to change this appearance so I can read those numbers clearly. So I clicked on that. I'm going to make that a 24 font so I can read it really well. Okay, and I'm just going to move it so I can see it nice and clearly. I want to adjust my scale. So let's think about tails. I got a title. It's already there for me. My axes are correct. It was set up for me. I'm changing volume, so that's my independent variable, and I'm measuring pressure, which is my dependent variable. My intervals are going to be fine because Logger Pro did it for me, so this is the same size interval as this is. My labels are here. I've got volume and pressure, and my scale is good. Now, the scale is actually not perfect. I want to adjust the scale a little bit by changing the axis. Okay, so if I look at the axis, it's plotting from a, let's say, y-axis first, which is my pressure. It plots from 0 to 210. I want to change that to manual, and I want to change the bottom value. My lowest value here is about 71, so I'm going to change the bottom to 70. And my top value, I'm going to leave it at 210. Okay? In my right y, which is really my x, I want to change this to go to a manual setting. And here I want to go from, my lowest value is 6. So let's say I go from 5, and I want to continue to go to 20. Okay, so what that does is just fill the page a little better. And now I can move my box just by my mouse over it and clicking. Okay, so here's my relationship. I've got everything ready to print. Everything looks good. I go to File, Print. Want to make sure I print a footer here. I'm going to put my name on here, Mrs. G. And now the other thing, I want to say OK. Now this is going to give me a, let me just check one thing. Properties here. I want to make this landscape so I get a big graph. And I should be ready to go. Click one. I'm going to print it on 132. You should print it on 132. I'm going to print it on 133. And now I have it, and I can just fold it in half and put it in my lab notebook, and I'm good.